In 2011, while the President of the United States, Barack Obama, was vacationing in a $1 million mansion on Martha's Vineyard, dining on lobster and caviar, his uncle, Onyango Obama, referred to as Uncle Omar in Dreams from My Father, was getting arrested for drunk driving, coming home from his job as a liquor store clerk. Obama's long-lost uncle was found to have been living in America for decades, illegally, and was slated to be deported. Blood is thicker than water, they say, but Uncle Omar would receive no help from his famous nephew, Barack Obama. Why should he? Barack Obama had never, ever met his drunkard uncle and didn't even know he was living in America, or so he says. Well, that may not be true. It looks like Obama has been caught in yet another lie. At Uncle Omar's deportation hearing on December 3, 2013, he revealed not only that he had met his famous nephew, but that in fact Barack Obama had lived with him for 3 weeks while attending Harvard Law School. This was also testified to by Uncle Omar's longtime landlord, Alfred Umma, who saw Barack Obama crashing in Uncle Omar's living room. Of course, Barack Obama could clear this up by releasing his Harvard Law School records, which would show what address Obama was using while attending Harvard. Don't hold your breath, though. Obama has locked up tight not only his Harvard Law School records, but his Columbia University records as well. These are part of the so-called lost years of Barack Obama, in which we know little to nothing of what Obama was doing besides going to school. But we can guess. According to David Moranis' book, Barack Obama, The Story, in 1984, prior to crashing at Uncle Omar's house, Barack Obama was living at 622 West 114th Street in New York. His girlfriend at the time, Genevieve Cook, was attending an obscure little college known for producing fervent socialist teachers, Bank Street College of Education. A classmate of Genevieve Cook was none other than Bill Ayers, who lived right around the corner from Obama, our future socialist-in-chief, at 520 West 123rd Street, apartment 5W. No doubt Obama and Ayers reminisced about the good old days when Ayers was blowing up the Pentagon and murdering police officers. After graduating from Harvard, Obama moved to Ground Zero for Socialists, Chicago, in which Bill Ayers shortly followed. Obama's legislative career was launched in Ayers' home in 1995, and Ayers and Obama would go on to serve on left-wing foundations that funneled millions of dollars into socialist front groups, including Acorn. Ayers, who wrote the grant for the Socialist Funding Foundation, the Annenberg Challenge, would appoint Obama as chairman of the board, where money was poured into the Chicago public schools to inject socialist curriculum. While Obama was a state senator, Obama joined the Socialist New Party. Unearthed copies of the socialist newspaper, New Party News, named Obama as a member of the New Party that included photos posing alongside other socialists. We now have actual records of the New Party showing that Obama was a dues-paying member who joined the New Party on January 11, 1996. But this only skims the surface of Obama's socialist connections. We will probably never know the half of what turned our socialist-in-chief Barack Obama into a fervent hardline Marxist. Perhaps Uncle Omar will shed a little light on those early years, what stories Uncle Omar could tell, with the young socialist Barack Obama crashing on his couch, reading the Communist Manifesto, Mao Zedong's Little Red Book, dreaming of someday a socialist utopia ushered in with socialized medicine that would bear his name, Obamacare.
We all know that our country's journey toward equality is not finished yet. We know it right here in this room. It's been 5 years since Lawrence versus Texas and 39 years since Stonewall, but still, we've got work to do before we achieve equality in the LGBT community. He's also spoken out against the stigma surrounding HIV testing, which is still plaguing so many of our communities. which you all know, a lot of that is due to homophobia. Barack has led by example. When we took our trip to Africa and visited his home country in Kenya, we took a public HIV test for the very point of showing folks in Kenya that there is nothing to be embarrassed about in getting tested. And we did it as a couple. And he said something very simple. He said, all too often we settle for the world as it is because we think it's the best that we can do, even if when it doesn't reflect our values and aspirations as a nation. We all have felt that. It won't change. We can't do anything any differently. This is the best we can do. We're blessed. Maybe we shouldn't ask for more. We've all said that at some point in time in our lives. But Barack reminded us on that day that we also know what the world should look like. And I'm here because I know I've lived with this man for 20 years. And I say this all the time. He has not let me down once. He has spent his entire life trying to build the career based on that struggle to narrow the gaps. And wherever he has a chance, he uses his God-given talents to move that bar. That's what he did all those years ago, working in churches, helping families build better lives. And it's what he did when he turned down a big law firm to become a civil rights attorney all those years ago. And that's what he did as a state senator before entering the U.S. Senate. He was a champion of the law that amended the Illinois Human Rights Act in our state to prohibit discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation and gender identity in the workplace. In the world as it should be, we can work together to repeal laws like DOMA and don't ask and don't tell. And we can oppose divisive constitutional amendments that would strip civil rights and benefits away from LGBT Americans, because discrimination has no place in a nation founded on the promise of equality.
Well, listen, we want to congratulate you on Barack Obama, our new president, and you must be very proud.
We are.
Yes.
We really are. We're also proud of the U.S. For having made history as well.
Hey, one more quick question. Our President-elect Obama's birthplace over in Kenya, is that going to be a national spot to go visit where he was born?
It's already an attraction. His paternal grandmother is still alive, and
but his birthplace, they'll put up a marker there.
It will depend on the government. It's already well known as a state.
Yeah. Do you know the Barack Obama? His father's name is it Barack Hussein Obama Sr.? Is that true? Do you know?
Well, I know him as Barack Obama.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And he served in the government. He served in the government. He actually served with our current president, who is also an economist. Both of them were well trained. Our current president is a graduate of the London School of Economics, and Barack Senior was an economics from Harvard.
Really?
And so these were the first Kenyan graduates of the 60s, that came back to build our nation.
Yeah. Well, listen, sir, thank you very much for the time. We just wanted to check in, given the proceedings that have occurred, one of the, as you say, a great historical moment, and thank you, Your Excellency, for your time.
Well, thank you so very much, guys, for your excitement and for congratulating us.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much. You have a nice day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Did you catch that?
Not a lot of it.
Mike, he basically admitted that President-elect Obama was born there.
Yes, he did.
That's what I was asking him. Remember the controversy about
I do, about Hawaii and whether he naturalized or not, or what happened.
I mean, that's a fact.
No, you're going to have to replay it, because I didn't.
I asked him if there's going to be a marker for where he was
the fact that he was born there.
And I said President-elect, not to confuse with his dad, and he said, absolutely, there's already plans.
Right, so there you go. So that means we're going to have to remove his, we're going to have
he admitted his excellency.
We're going to have to undo it.
I'm not going to argue with his excellency.
I wouldn't.
If he says President-elect Obama was born in Kenya, he was born in Kenya.
It's disrespectful to argue with him.
The candidate's close family members are not watching in New England or in Texas, but from here in the west of Kenya. Saeed Obama is the presidential hopeful's uncle. He's been watching his famous nephew's progress from the town of Kisumu. Another Obama still living in the village is Barack's grandmother, known as Mama Sarah. Senator Obama has been back only a few times. Even so, there's a strong attachment between the two of them.
Barack en nyati dalani. Barack en nyati dalani. Barack en nyati dalani. Kata mu so penjonge mana kata meno kono. Owacho na dani adhi tadhi yo timo dwaro kom maduong'. Onyisa.
Dr. Jerome Corsi of WorldNet Daily, and author of the best-selling Where's the Birth Certificate, reports that a Social Security number verification investigation has revealed that the Social Security number being used by Barack Obama does not pass a check with E-Verify, the electronic system that the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services of the United States Department of Homeland Security has created to verify whether or not prospective employees have the required authorization to work legally in the United States. Obama does not pass the test. Over the past few years, the E-Verify system has received national attention because of its ability to determine if prospective employees are illegal immigrants who have entered the United States without the legal authority to work. By flagging fraudulent documents, including faked Social Security numbers, the E-Verify system can assist an employer in the effort to make sure that all prospective hires have authentic identification papers, including valid Social Security numbers, issued to them and not to someone else. Obama's Social Security number was entered into the self-check section of the E-Verify website. This entry resulted in Obama's Social Security number being flagged by E-Verify as likely being fraudulent. 8 of the 9 special indicators used by E-Verify have to do with fraud of one kind or another. The Social Security number Obama is using was flagged with a special indicator clearly suggesting the number is fraudulent. WorldNet Daily's phone call to the media office of the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services of the United States Department of Homeland Security went unanswered. Gee, we wonder why. This might explain the federal judge who recently ruled on Obama's Social Security number case brought by attorney Orly Tates. In that ruling, the judge suggested that it did not matter whether Obama had committed a crime or not. The judge indicated in that case that it was his responsibility to protect Obama's privacy and secrecy. Really? So the man in the White House, the commander-in-chief, the one calling the shots from the Oval Office, could not pass a security check on E-Verify with the Social Security number that he's using. So he can't get a job picking tomatoes, but he can command the world's #1 military superpower. Go figure.